Hello and welcome back to my writing channel. I am finally sitting down to do some writing. This is, oh my gosh, it's been way too long. I've done a few scattered sessions since moving to my new apartment. Have I mentioned this on my writing channel? I don't know. I have moved. I have moved from Paris, France to New York. If you want to see more about that, I have at least one video on my life channel, as I am so lamely calling it for the moment. So if you want to see more about that, check out my life channel, check out my Instagram, there's tons on there. But basically, I have had this big international move, plus so many things that were either tied to that or, I don't know, spurred by that in some way. So let's just blame it all on the move, but I have not been doing very much writing recently. So it's been a long time coming. I have done a couple, like I said, I've done a couple of like mini sessions where I've tried mostly to brainstorm my work in progress, my new work in progress, I should say, but I have not gotten back to finishing the edits of my, I guess my last year's work in progress, the most recent one that I finished and revised, done some beta reading. That one, it's called Among the Gifted. I don't know if I've said that online. There you go, there's the title reveal. For the moment, I mean, the title could definitely change, but that's what it is right now. I am so out of practice from doing this vloggy YouTube thing that I just throw stuff in there just like that. There's the title. What I'm gonna start with today, I thought about starting with my like brainstorming outlining of my other project, because that's been more so what I've been more inspired to do. By the way, I have my computer right here. I have coffee, of course. And I think I'm gonna start with revisions because there are just a few things left that I really need to work on. I don't think it'll be anything massive. Maybe I'm wrong, maybe there'll be some big edits that I kind of forgot that I left on a back burner. But I'm gonna go through all of my notes. I have a bunch of notes, like comments in Microsoft Word. I leave comments in different places. I'm gonna try and get through as many of those as possible, if not all of them. And then what I'll need to do is I'll need to do an entire read through again, which is something I've also been kind of putting off because as much as I love this book, I have worked with it quite a bit. And because I've been not burnt out, but a little burnt out from writing this summer, it's been a little bit difficult to motivate myself to get back to rereading the entire thing, but it's very important. So revisions, a read through will follow in the days, weeks to come. Then I will probably want some more beta readers on it. And then hopefully I will query. We'll see. This is all very tentative because the fall is the absolute busiest time for my day job. So I'm doing a lot of hours with my day job, which is another reason I haven't been writing quite as much because my eyes are really, really sore like every evening from staring at a screen. So I'm trying not to do too much of that. We'll see how far I can get. If then later today I still have enough energy, I will probably try to do some brainstorming because what I think I need to do for my other work in progress, the one I'm outlining, I think I just need to take some time to think because there are still some plot points and some character motivations that I'm working out in order to get my outline together and piece it together. I have kind of the backbones of one of the narratives, but there's a plot B that I basically don't have very much at all. I have sort of a bit of a motivation, but I'm missing a lot of details in order to have that plot B kind of mesh with plot A. And you know, there's lots of other little like subplots and stuff that I need to kind of work out where I have kind of like ideas vaguely, but I don't know how I'm going to fit them into the story. And there's even parts of the main plot that still need some work. So that is the plan. That's what I'm going to be doing for now. And I will check back in with you later. Alrighty, so it is much later in the day. Obviously my hair has dried now. I'm still here with my computer, but I moved you to the other side of the table. In fact, I think I'm gonna move someplace else where it's a little bit more scenic. Because this little corner of my apartment where I have like, this is actually my table where I'm sitting, not my desk. Because my desk, I'm currently working with my daytime job. I'm working there all day, so I really don't want to write there as well because it gets really old being in the same spot. Monday through Friday plus weekends and all of that, it's too much. I'm going to close that shade a little bit so we don't have any street view in the background. And also, I'm going to turn on my lights. Obviously, I am not going to have these lights here on my cat tree when my cats are here. That's not going to be a great thing. They will destroy them. But for the time being, I've
draped them over my cat tree in this little corner. So how about I sit you here? I'm a floor sitter. If you didn't know that about me, I love to sit on the floor. It freaks my friends out sometimes because I will just come over to their house and sit in their floor instead of, you know, on a couch or something. And yes, I'm wearing PJ pants. I live in PJ pants. The second I get in the door, the jeans come off, the PJ pants go on. So I did not accomplish as much today as I was hoping for in terms of writing. I did though, I think, get quite a bit done. So I had, for revisions notes in my Microsoft Word document, I had 17, I believe, when I started. And I ended up getting it down to, I think, 8. But 1 or 2 of those were added. So I ended up like making some changes and changing some stuff, and then having to add a note either that I needed to go back and reread it later with fresh eyes to make sure that it still sounded good and that I liked it still. Or I noticed stuff that maybe I will want to address in the read through, but that I don't necessarily want to address right now. So I made some progress and then moved myself back a few steps by adding more notes. Some of the notes were really a lot more comprehensive and they're going to take me more time to address and to get through. But I mean, I did have some wins. In fact, just now, the last thing that I did where I felt really great, finishing up one of my notes, I kind of went through an entire second half of a chapter because the note basically was, make this character a bit more endearing. It's a side character, and one of my beta readers, or a couple of my beta readers, I think, pointed out that she could be maybe a little bit more endearing in that, because she's one of these characters that I struggle really hard to write characters who are a little bit unlikable, but not a bad character. One of my beta readers mentioned, at least at the beginning of that second half, she'd mentioned that she didn't really like her that well, and she thought it might be better if you kind of saw a little bit more of that nuance. And I thought it was a really good point. I think it might have only been one beta reader who commented that, but because it resonated with me, that's something I talked about with beta feedback. Like, yes, like it's very important to not just take every single thing that a beta reader tells you, because every individual read is going to be individual. So generally I will take something a bit more like into consideration if more than one person notices it and points out the exact same thing and potential flaw. But in this case, what she pointed out, maybe she was the only one to do it, but it really resonated with me. I was like, yeah, actually I want that more. And I see where she's coming from with that. So that's why I chose to go ahead and make that edit. And it wasn't a huge edit, it was just kind of going through that scene and adding things kind of here and there to kind of show that my main character, she doesn't necessarily kind of get her yet, but that she is starting to kind of form a little bit of an attachment to this other character. And the very last thing I did, I literally changed one word. I was so happy with the change. I literally like out loud said, yes, that's so good. I love that. Like that works so well, and it's right at the end of the chapter. So again, it sounds like nothing, but I'm very happy. It's the small wins. You have to celebrate them, especially when I was planning on completely finishing all of my revisions notes and I got through like half of them. But a lot of progress was made, and I did take a couple of breaks from my writing to do other stuff that I needed to do, so I haven't just been writing all afternoon. And I still have a little bit of the evening left. I probably will do a little bit more revisions, but I'm also probably going to try and read a little bit. I don't know, I don't want to overload myself at the same time. I had a really good day, and those revisions took a lot more energy than I realized they were going to take. So I will check back in with you soon and let you know how it's going.